From AI to decarbonization to the great wealth transfer, the megatrends reshaping portfolios aren't slowing down. Mark, you're moderating our closing keynote panel at our Australia Investors Forum in Sydney. Would you give us a sneak peek into what you're planning to draw out of the panelists?
I think there's some big topics that we're going to talk about on the closing panel. And I think if we sort of break them down topic by topic, in terms of technology and the AI revolution, I think it's pretty clear that the era of sort of one-way traffic with stocks going from the left and up and to the right has really sort of taken at least a pause lately. You've seen some pretty big moves down in terms of some of the software stocks. And I think people are taking a much more discerning approach in terms of AI investment, in terms of market valuations. So I'm going to be really interested to hear what the panelists have to say around what are the approaches that they're taking. Are they sort of going down the route of picks and shovels in terms of AI? Are they looking at some value in terms of some of the software stocks that have sold off recently? Or are they really sort of sticking with some of those hyperscalers and the larger stocks over time? I think the second topic that we've talked about is decarbonisation. And that's a really interesting topic, and a little bit the political framework really comes into it. So it'd be interesting to hear people's perspectives around when we look to different jurisdictions around the world, what are the approaches that people are taking to invest in that sort of decarbonisation process, whether that be in the US, whether it be in Europe, or whether it be in Australia. And then finally, we talk about demographics. And I think in the sort of wealth space, in the superannuation space, and even in the sovereign wealth fund space, the sort of demographic change that's going on is really important. And most importantly, it'd be interesting to hear from some of the people around how they're addressing that wealth transfer from sort of the patriarch of families into the next generation, and what are the types of investments that those individuals are looking for and having to include it in their portfolios.
You've invested across multiple continents and asset classes for over 30 years, including running portfolios at the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. So when you look at the megatrends reshaping portfolios right now, which one do you think investors are most underestimating?
Well, I think the one that people really need to spend a lot of time on is this huge change that we've had in the environment. So the era of globalization has really taken a back seat. We're in a period of a great power struggle between the US and China. And that has really sort of radical implications around portfolio construction, around diversification. And I'm going to be really interested to hear from the members around what their perspectives are on what are the better regions to invest in from an equity market perspective, from a debt perspective. We've gone through a period where emerging markets have had a pretty difficult period for sort of the 15 years to the end of 2023. And more recently, we've seen a little bit of a bounce. And it'd be interesting to hear people's perspectives about what they think about that sort of move higher in equity prices for emerging market equities, and whether that's a really good opportunity or whether it's a short-term pause. And then most importantly, I think with this sort of great power struggle that's going on and the advent of geopolitics, very interested to hear from the members around who are the winners and who will be the losers in terms of portfolios and individual assets within them.
We are too. And Mark, I have to ask, what are you personally looking forward to most about the forum?
My perspective is that investment is a career of lifelong learning. So coming to a conference like the Markets Group conference in Sydney, and it's a great opportunity to hear from some really high quality investors across a range of different backgrounds, whether that be superannuation funds, whether that be sovereign wealth funds, whether it be from institutional and wealth managers. And I think what's really interesting is going along to a conference like this is you can really pick up some very interesting perspectives on what are the things that people are focused on, how they're implementing that within portfolios, and how they may address issues that you're considering for yourself within your portfolio. So I think it's a great opportunity to sort of continue the discovery and learning around portfolio construction and investing.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me, Mark. I know a lot of people are very excited to see you at our Australia Investors Forum. It's great to see you.
Thanks, Courtney. Appreciate the time, and I look forward to the conference.